Say hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Here.
What's your name?
Go. Mommy.
Yes.
Go.
The car.
Go.
Can you say I'm Ava?
No.
Why?
Good. Go.
You want to play with the car?
Go.
Okay, say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Again, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Brandy, and this is my channel, Mommy's Corner. Sharing my experiences as a single mother with my baby girl, Ava. I just want to take a minute to thank you guys again for all your support. For my friends or for people who don't know me, just thank you for, following me on this journey of sharing my life as a mother. So in this video, I'm going to be talking more so about Ava, just giving you guys a more in-depth look into her 2.5 years worth of life. So if you want to watch, stay tuned. So Ava was born on January 10th, 2016. She was born on accident. And when I say on accident, she was born 2 months early. I was supposed to have her on March 1st. I was living in New York, as I told you in my last video, and I came down south to my mother's house for the holidays, for Christmas, obviously. And long story short, I went into labor early. I was at home washing dishes before my mom came home, because you know when you're supposed to clean the house before your mother pulls up and you hear the garage and you're like, so that's what I was doing. And my stomach started hurting really bad, and my little sister came downstairs and said, Brandy, why don't you just time when your stomach hurts? And I was like, that's why I have you as a little sister. So I was timing them, and the contractions were like maybe 7 or 8 minutes apart. And so when my mom, when I told my mom about it, she said, let's wait until 7 o'clock that night, and if it continues, then we'll go ahead and take you to the hospital. 7 o'clock came around, and it was getting worse and worse and worse. So I called Ava's father and let him know, hey, I think it's about time. And he lived in another city, so he had to come about an hour and a half to me to be there. I got to the hospital, and I literally threw myself over the counter. I was like, I'm having a baby. And the person at the front desk was like, well, okay, if you want to fill out these papers, we can go ahead and check you in. I'm like, what? I'm having a baby. So after about 3 days of labor, I don't really know the hours. I know I went into labor on Friday and she came on Sunday. So after that amount of time, she was born at 12:55 a.m. and she literally shot out of me. Like, I'm not gonna get into details. Just know it wasn't the best sight. So being that she was early, they went ahead and took her up to the NICU to help her breathe on her own. It took her about 10 minutes to be able to breathe on her own, and she was in the NICU for a month and 4 days. She came out on Valentine's Day. We gave her this little, well, her dad got her this little, my first Valentine's Day onesie. And during the time she was in the NICU, I had a whole bunch of nurses who tolerated me. There were like 2 days I couldn't be there. I was there every single day, but a couple of days I wasn't there because it was snowing at the time, and I couldn't drive in the snow. But after that month and a half, her dad came and picked us up, and we ended up moving to the city that he lived in, so we can both get ready for this journey of parenthood. So fast forward, 8 months, 9 months, of course she's delayed a little bit. She was 2 months early. She was a preemie, so she walked late. She walked around 15 months, which isn't extremely late, but everybody wants their baby to walk by 1. So about 15 months she started walking, and she had a couple issues with her balance. Her dad walks on his toes, so she started that habit early, walking on her toes, and it was to the point where she wasn't stable. It was hindering her from developing her walking skills. So she started therapy around 18, 19 months, and she had physical therapy for about a year. So during her physical therapy, she had to wear braces, which are these right here. And, you just stick her foot in, and you would Velcro it down, and you had to do these little markers, because at some point they will adjust whether her foot is getting a little bigger or it's just getting a little loose. So each time, or depending, you just make it tighter and you'll put the mark there because you wanted to make sure that it was at that mark to keep her foot flat. And the people who gave her these braces got her these New Balances. They weren't my favorite, but these are them. Yeah, she couldn't, I didn't like her wearing these because there are so many outfits I would want her to wear, but they didn't match this. So, I mean, she didn't have to wear them all the time, just when she was doing a lot of walking. So make sure she had them at daycare. But if we went out to dinner or somewhere where she wasn't walking a lot, no, she was not wearing these. But she wore these for about 6 months, and they helped so much, so much. I mean, sometimes she still has issues just a little bit, but I think that's more so because she doesn't know how to slow down. She wants to sprint everywhere, but they definitely helped her keep her feet flat, so that way she's able to know to walk on her heel toes and not just toe, toe, toe. So another thing that we noticed as she was developing was her speech. She wasn't really communicating well. Of course, when you're, 1.5, 2, you don't have a lot to say, but compared to other children, and not to say that I can compare Ava to other kids because you're not supposed to do that, but it was to a point where you noticed something wasn't right. So we ended up getting her in speech therapy as well. She's still in speech therapy as of today. She did start out at a clinic. Her sessions were weekly there, but now that I have more flexibility, I wanted the therapy to be at home, so that way she's in her natural environment and she's more willing to participate in activities and things like that. So she has progressed. She does say a lot of things, some things she thinks she's saying, and you're just looking at her like, what? But ultimately, she is progressing, and I try to take care, I'm wanting to take care of these things now because she's getting ready to go into Head Start and preschool, kindergarten. So I want to get these delays situated so that way by the time she's in school, she's able to communicate, verbalize when she's frustrated, or if things happen that are not supposed to happen, and y'all know what I'm talking about. So I'm trying to get this stuff down now so she can communicate with me and be able to communicate with the kids, because my fear as a parent, like, I just want her to be okay. Like, I just want her to be okay. So I'm very pressed on making sure that she's going to her sessions. I'm doing the things that I need to do throughout the week, so at the next session she's just continuously progressing. So that's really it, you guys. I didn't want to go into too much depth on the different topics that I touched on. I'll be doing more videos on those different topics later on, so just stay tuned. I appreciate you guys watching, and see you later.